Now we're ready.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Crypto Trader News. We've got the entire team with us today, sharing things about crypto and Bitcoin and politics and whatever else is going on in the news. So today we have our fearless leader, Dennis. Say hi. We have Tony, our taskmaster.
I think we can start calling Tony the master leader. I mean, Dennis shows up in here. Dennis shows up in here once every 3 months or so.
I'm just a guest. I'm just peeping in.
And we've got Matthew, our resident Jedi, Alan, the Magnificent, and today, because my camera is screwed up, I am the Radiant Meredith. And welcome to Crypto Trader News.
Good morning, everybody.
That is one interesting intro, let me tell you.
It's almost Christmas, hey?
Yeah, that's good. That's true. So two things that we're going to be talking about today. The first one is comments on the markets and just get the overall vibe. And the second one is we're actually going to be talking about impeachment. I sent out an email this morning saying that we're going to actually start expanding the content that we're going to be writing about in CTN. We're going to be introducing stocks. We're going to be introducing politics, economics, tech. We're still crypto oriented, blockchain oriented, but we are going to start expanding. And I just thought it would be cool to actually, talk about impeachment, which is probably the biggest and hottest and most trending, politics oriented thing happening right now. But anyways, I'm going to share my screen, and you guys are going to actually be seeing the CTN dashboard. And we can actually take a look at the markets. And let's make it fun. I want a one-word description of how you're feeling right now about the crypto markets. Dennis.
Sleepy.
Meredith.
Bye.
Alan.
Neutral.
And Matt.
Pissed off. I can use 2 words.
It's 2 words. You cheated. My word would probably be buy. I'm with Meredith. I'm in the buy mode right now. In fact, I am going to be stocking up. Here's how I feel right now. Number one, if you look back at the live stream that we did, it was probably a month ago or so. You can probably go back and laugh at me because I said we were going to be having a very bullish Christmas. And so far, I'm just not going to comment on the markets publicly anymore because I'm never right. I'm always wrong. And it is what it is.
Great that you and I are grounded from making any predictions because
Matt, no, I'm not. No, yeah, you're not. Matt's not the guy either. Let me tell you, but I'm not going to take pride on being a market analyst either because I'm never right. I will say that I think that there's a reason why I'm still bullish. Number one, I think that there's big ass cryptocurrencies like Ripple, for example, which interestingly enough, I'm not seeing. How come we don't have Ripple listed here? Okay, I got to fix that. But Ripple is at its lowest point ever since it actually skyrised back in 2017 with every other cryptocurrency. And I only see 2 paths forward right now. Number one is the whole thing crashes and it all goes to hell, which I don't think it's going to happen. Or number 2, it's just a big ass bear season for Ripple, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash is another one taking a pretty big hit. Or it's just going to pick up again at some point. I don't know when, and I'm not going to predict. I'm not going to make any predictions of when it's going to happen. But I think that's the 2 paths that we're going to go for that could potentially happen, right? Number one,
That's brilliant, Tony. You just told everybody that it's either going to go up or it's going to go down.
No. It's a very no.
I thought that was an amazing analysis. There's 2 options: up and down.
No. I'm actually making a stronger case here. I think it's either going to go to hell, meaning it's going to severely crash to the point where we're going to see a lot of altcoins actually touching zero, or it's just another bull season and yes, it's going to go up. Those are my two scenarios. It either goes to hell or it actually goes up.
So,
anyways,
ladies
that's
and
my
gentlemen,
point of
that
view.
means expect the next month to be flat.
Well, Jesus, the whole market is. Let's take a look. Anyways,
We have
you
a Twitter poll on that, by the way.
yes, if you guys want to, and how's the poll going actually?
Let me take a look here. See if I can find it real quick.
Anyways, while she takes a look, Dennis, what are your thoughts on the market?
My thoughts are that the market should be ignored. That we should just quit looking at it. It's just not healthy. It's better to close your eyes and take a nap and wake up in 3 or 4 months.
But okay, so that is probably the worst investment advice we can probably give someone, right? You put your money in something and just don't look at it ever again. Let's just hope that it goes down.
I mean, if you had done that with Berkshire Hathaway 20 years ago, you'd be a happy person, man.
Yes, and if you had done that with any altcoin back in 2017, you would probably be very upset today. So I'm not,
Not if you had bought, if you bought Ethereum in 2017, you'd probably still be pretty happy, even if it is at 127, right?
Anyway, Alan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so like I said, I think that it's an interesting that we're in right now. Are having significant progress with real projects. Ethereum and other like.
I'm listening to you. Am I the only one?
Specifically Ethereum.
No,
I can't hear him.
And Bitcoin. Instance.
But hold on, Alan. I can't. Yeah, we lost them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello?
All right. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, Alan, hang tight just a second. You were lagging. No, you guys know what I think, man. I thought it was going to bounce back before now, and so I'm keeping my opinions to myself. If we had bought the altcoins a few weeks ago and then just didn't look at them, I would probably be a lot happier the last few weeks instead of looking every week and seeing these big dips and then a little dip and get my hopes up and then a big dip again. And so I'm just going to hold tight and wait until after the first of the year. But I am kind of like Tony. I do believe that it's going to go back up. I think the the bull is around the corner, and this bear will get the hell out of here. But we'll see. Hi, Wafa.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's still a good insight, though, Matt. I mean, you're bullish, just like I am. That's still cool. Okay.
So
Meredith, how's the poll going? You're
Yeah,
back.
you're
Let me
back, Alan.
Let's see how the poll is going. I'm actually intrigued.
Yep, I've got the screenshot here if you want to throw that up on the screen real quick.
Oh, gotcha. Oop.
Yeah, I mean, right now we've got 13 votes. We just put it up less than an hour ago. And yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of bulls here. 54% so far say, hell yeah, scoop them up.
Well,
and I think we have a couple smartasses who are like, what's Bitcoin? Huh?
I mean, I guess it's kind of biased, right? I mean, we're a crypto publication. If we're going to be posting about is Bitcoin dying, most people are probably going to say, hell no, it's not going to die.
Yeah, but your people who are like, they might not be so strong on Bitcoin. They might be more altcoin, so who knows?
True. Anyway,
leave a comment.
I was going to say, Alan, do you want to touch base on the market? We didn't get to hear you properly.
Right. Okay. So quickly, the stocks are going up. Bitcoin and the other market is supposed to be uncorrelated, right? So you're seeing that uncorrelation, but at the same time, you're seeing fundamentals happening correctly, meaning institutions and real projects are taking place. So if you believe that it would, it's if you believe that there's actual value and unlock protocol and other things that are building on top of Ethereum, and you see how these other institutions like Fidelity is expectations and not really paying that much, you would be bullish, right? So I think that you would want to keep closely watch the market and then dollar cost average if you are long term bullish, right?
Okay, so just one
Yeah.
question, one big question, and this is particularly for Ether and Ripple. What the hell? I mean, Ripple and Ether, ignoring Bitcoin Cash for a second, are probably the biggest cryptos taking a big ass hit. Why? Did something happen around Ripple or Ether that is causing it to crash?
Well, I think Alan hit it yesterday. We kind of had this
Well,
conversation in the Telegram where XRP keeps dumping out lots of their coins.
yeah.
Okay, so you think it's just the team selling?
Yeah, so with Ripple down on their sales of XRP, but they really haven't slowed down. And then with ETH or Ethereum transitioning from their to proof of stake in a couple of months, right? Right. So by February, or say first 2020, they're going to be transitioning from their current consensus proof of stake. So I guess there's some the value of that in how in the new system.
Can you touch base on
They're
the main
going to have an
differences
upgrade.
real quick?
There's not enough. For Ethereum, you know how so the value is calculated from like G hours, etc., etc., etc. Converts into the value of ETH, and now the value is going to have to come more for. And then proof of stake is where you know how more like you pretty much put your ETH, you lock it up, and then depending how much ETH you have, you become a staker, and you on that. I mean, you go ahead and get returns, and the new system works like that. So I guess that people are figuring out what that new value of ETH is going to be as they transition from one system and that they've been on for quite some time now to when they transition to the next system, which
Gotcha.
is proof of stake, and this is supposed to happen for a while. Saying that stuff is going to happen. If it happens, what's that going to do to the price? Well, now you're seeing what's happening, right? So that's the current issue. That's the current reason why ETH is going down. That's a fundamental shift. Yep.
Well, I mean, I'm also still, a lot of people are wondering what the hell's going to happen after. This is actually a very good question for maybe not next week because it's Christmas, but maybe the following week to discuss about the.
Yeah, we'll be off for 2 weeks.
Come on, I'm just kidding. Well, okay, it's a great question for someday. We can talk about the Bitcoin.
The next
Calvin.
2 weeks be completely dedicated to Tony doing predictions. But you can't just do predictions about crypto. You have to do predictions about football, about you have to predict, when will we get to Mars? Will
how you make money is
Elon Musk ruin his next presentation by throwing a watermelon at something?
Okay,
how you make money.
I'm not even gonna ask the question. How do you make money?
Also,
Don't
anyway,
listen
Tony,
to me.
what were you?
That's a great topic. Yeah, I was
do
going
the
to
opposite of
suggest
what-
that I was going to ask about there's this massive group of people who think that Bitcoin is going to severely crash after the halving. I think it's in May or something, because it's just not going to be profitable enough for miners,
Right.
and people are just going to stop mining Bitcoin. Anyways, let's talk about that next week, though. Let's actually talk about impeachment. I mean, the title of this video is impeachment, and we haven't even discussed impeachment yet. So let's talk about impeachment real quick. Let's make it fun once again. Impeachment, Dennis, yes or no?
Yay.
Impeachment, Alan, yes or no?
Yay.
Impeachment, Matt, yes or no?
Oh, I'm on the fence. No, hell, y'all know I mean. Yes, all the way, 100%.
Impeachment, Meredith, yes or no?
Well, I think it's going to pass in the House, but I think it's going to die in the Senate.
Well, I didn't know.
Okay. All right, and I'm gonna say he should definitely be impeached. I'm not sure if it's gonna happen. And that's my personal take. Anyway.
Well, he's definitely going to be impeached. He's just not going to be removed from office.
Well, that's exactly what I meant.
Yeah,
I think we gotta get some more conservative people in here, man. We're all.
I'm about as conservative as you guys are going to get, because I am a straight line independent. I can be swayed either way.
So can we actually just open up as to our opinions? I mean, Matt doesn't need a map to show off a map or something. We know he's anti-Trump all the way. I mean, actually, you should all check out CTM, because he just posted an amazing article on Donald Trump. You should all read it. It's super fun. It's a very nice read. Anyways, so I think that the best way to open up is to actually say who you're going to vote for next year. If you don't want to disclose that, because we haven't actually spoken amongst ourselves about this. If you don't want to disclose that, that's fine. I'll be voting for Andrew Yang. Dennis?
Hey, I'll vote for Yang for now as well.
Well, hold on. He's probably not going to make it, that's for sure. But if he does make it...
That was the question that I was going to ask. I mean, of the Democratic side, who do you think's actually going to make it?
I will vote for anybody who's not Trump.
Or do you think it's going to make it to the Democratic convention and Hillary jumps in at the end?
I don't care. I'll vote for Hillary.
Here, I'll throw another one in the wrench. And this would be so poetic justice. Let's get to the DNC, and Miss Pelosi announces she's running.
I don't think any of that. That's too much.
Oh, I know.
Entertaining. That's too entertaining. That's not gonna happen. I think the candidates that we have today are gonna be the candidates that we end up with. I think it's gonna be it's probably gonna come down to hey, hold on. We got the conservative person that I was looking for. 4 more years, get over it. That's good. Good stuff. So that's the good meat. We were looking for you. We appreciate that. So I think it's going to come down to Donald Trump if he doesn't get removed, which, there's a lot of concerns and questions about whether that's even possible. I think we're running out of time. I'm not sure if it's going to be possible. Anyways, I think it's going to come down to Mr. Trump or either Biden, Warren, or Sanders. That's the realistic. The one I would love would be Yang, but I don't think the guy's going to make it, unfortunately. If it comes down to any of those three, I don't really care who comes out. I'll vote for them, for any of them before Trump.
I have
That's
to
me.
say with Yang, the big question mark that I had was the video of him doing whippets. I'm like, come on, you know. I mean, I love
Oh
his
yeah,
stance.
that was strange.
I
Yeah, that
love
was
his
like, what are
stance
you
on
doing?
Bitcoin. I love the fact that he's into Bitcoin, and you know, we've all talked about universal basic incomes on our own separate platforms and things. You know, so I support that, but just that kind of strange behavior just made me go, I don't know about this guy. You know, I mean, it's not
What
called.
video are you talking about? I haven't seen that video.
You didn't see that? Oh my gosh. There were supporters like literally getting on their knees in front of him, and he had the whipped cream can shooting whippets into their mouth like it was a college frat party. All right. That
I
was
can totally see Yang doing that. Yeah, I can totally see
that
him
is
doing that.
concerning to me. I
I mean,
What difference does it make? We've had 3 years of orange guy
Orange
doing
man.
everything in the book. Come on, I mean, let's.
Paying off prostitutes or porn stars, and But one thing I want to make clear to you guys is, a lot of the right argument against impeachment is how the investigation began and the whistleblower. And guys, if there is evidence that Obama did stuff wrong, that Hillary did stuff wrong, that Biden did stuff wrong, I'm all for locking them up too. I am not. I don't have a love for any politician. If they did stuff wrong, then they should be locked up. Donald J. Trump has clouded his finger at the Constitution every step of the way. The day after the Mueller testimony, he's reaching out to the Ukraine for more help. And so, yes, I fully believe in impeachment. I don't think he'll get removed from office because the senators are not impartial as they're supposed to be. They're going to take a pledge next week or whenever it starts, and they're going to say that they'll be impartial. But they've already made it clear that they're not going to be. And so, no, he's not going to be removed from office. There's just, unless some big bombshell comes out to start swaying Republicans. But my vote for this next year is it's blue no matter who. I can't stick with the Republican Party anymore.
Would you vote for an independent party?
Yeah, it depended on.
I don't think they would survive. Independence would survive. But and I'm going to push back on the Ukraine a little bit here because what's that?
Oh yeah, no,
Alan?
I was saying that voting for independent is usually a waste of time, right? I mean, a waste of they don't go anywhere.
For sure, yeah.
So.
Yeah, unfortunately. But what I was saying was, I'm going to push back a little bit on. Because I want to respond to Matt a little bit with the Ukraine stuff. And I want to push back a little bit on that because I am trying to be an objective observer. And so when I'm reading the news and I see something like Pelosi, Kerry, Biden, and who's the other one? There's a fourth one, who have sons that are working for the big, they're on the boards of these big gas companies in Ukraine. I have to question motives, What is it? Pelosi, Biden, Kerry, and so I mean they have sons on the boards of these big Ukrainian companies. So I have to question motive when it comes to things like that. And again, I'm trying to come at it as an impartial observer and really take in both sides.
You should actually play devil's advocate, Meredith. You should make it super hard on us. It's too boring if we're all agreeing.
If we're all like,
I gotta ask Alan though. Please, can you try turning off your camera? Maybe we can hear you better without your camera because you're having a little interference with your internet connection. I do have this friend asking, didn't Biden say he was holding money in Ukraine? Does anyone know about that?
That was a news clip too. I mean, if you're following Twitter, yeah. To
me, it doesn't even come down to this. So here's I mean, Biden isn't even part of the equation. The question here is, should the president of the United States be removed from office? If so, which we've already answered, why? Dennis.
Well, I think that like Matt said, if we're going to believe in American democracy, and that's maybe there's some question marks there that we should all ask ourselves, then we have to say that nobody's above the law. And if you're using your position of power to improve your own political chances of winning, that's not playing by the rules, and you should be kicked out. I think that's as simple as it gets, and it's. And when you see that they're not even contesting the facts because they're uncontestable, that's what happened. I mean, nobody's questioning that that's what happened. Not even Trump. I mean, he just says, "Yeah, that's what I was doing. Yeah, so what?" Well, we should value our democracy higher than that. We need. You can say anything you want. You can be left, right, or center. That doesn't matter. You should still, I mean, isn't it time that we have a president that everybody could at least feel like is a normal human being again? I mean, really? I mean, I think we've had 3 years of crazy bozo stuff. Everybody's seen it happen. I mean, it's happening before our eyes. There's nobody, I mean, everybody would love to have, I would love to have somebody boring again. Just because at least you wouldn't wake up in the morning thinking, God, what's going to happen today?
Exactly.
All right. That answers my question, I guess. Meredith, should the president be removed from office? If so, why?
I don't think so. And I think part of the reason why is because whether you believe the economy is in a bubble right now, it's actually doing great. Job markets are up. And again, I have that issue with the motivation behind the investigations, especially if you've got kids who are on boards of the corrupt government that you've been investigating and saying that, the president is going against, working in tangent with. So I have issues, but I want to say this too. My husband is totally against Trump because he says he's not presidential. Okay. I kind of appreciate the fact that he's kind of rough and grumble because he talks like my dad. Now, would my dad ever run for president? Hell no. He'd be a terrible president. That being said, I think part of the reason why he has the support that he does is because he talks like we do, which is not presidential. So what side are you on? I don't know. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way he tweets.
I agree with pretty much everything you just said, but I don't think you're answering my question from the impeachment standpoint. Like, given the fact that this guy has tried to hurt his political rivals, trying to get a foreign president to help him out doing nasty, nifty stuff, should he be impeached?
I think every president has actually done that. They have their phone calls, and so if you want to impeach Trump on the phone call, then let's open up the transcripts for all the presidents. Let's go back and see how deep it goes. Really, what's good for one side should be good for the other. So
but that's the deal. Most phone calls from presidents have been. They haven't been secret, and this hasn't happened. This isn't
right. But look at even Kennedy when Cuba was happening. With Russia, what kind of back channel conversations were they having so that they could stop war? So I think those conversations are really important for any president. I don't care what side you're on. Negotiations like that happen because not everything can be upfront and public.
But you don't. Yeah, that's fine. Nobody says that's not right, Meredith. Of course.
Yeah.
Executives have to be able to. The president has to be able to have conversations with other foreign leaders, and there's probably things that we don't necessarily need to broadcast. But that's not the issue here. The issue here isn't that he was using his conversation with the president of Ukraine to further the interests of the United States. He was using the conversations as president of all Americans to favor himself.
Well, and I have to look at
very
the
bluntly,
timeline. Like I can't speak knowledgibly about this until I actually see the timeline.
And sent his private attorney to go do all this because he knew that the State Department, he couldn't get honorable diplomats to do it. So he brought Rudy Giuliani. Come on, that's
so we're talking about Ukraine, which is definitely one of the most corrupt governments that there are on the planet. So, take it with a grain of salt. We've been, this isn't a new issue, and it goes from, from Bill Clinton through Bush, and so on. So I think we've all dealt with it to a certain amount of, to a certain degree.
I'm sorry, I think you're wrong. I think that unless you can actually show that there has been a prior president who's done something similar, and I don't think anybody, and believe me, if there were cases that would be very notoriously being pushed by a lot of the right-wing media right now. No president of the United States has ever done anything remotely similar. None.
But we don't know that because if the press hasn't been after a certain candidate, and I have to say,
you don't think the press was after Obama? They tore him down for wearing a brown suit.
Right.
If you look at the difference between how CNN does their news and you look at Fox, all right? I don't care whichever one you watch. Both of them are propagandists for their party. So who do you listen to? I'm sorry, I turned them all off, and I'm doing my own research. It's like, okay, you know what?
That's actually what we should all be doing. Not listening to the media and doing.
Don't listen to the media because it doesn't matter who you listen to. You're listening to propaganda for either party, and this is why I
don't even listen to us. By the way, we're not. We're probably the last people you want to listen to. This is merely for entertaining purposes.
But like I said, if you want to turn off the news and do your own damn research, I suggest that we all do. When Epstein's manifest came out, you better believe that I looked for the actual manifest. All right. And I looked at the phone book and I was like, oh, whose names are in there, and we are as civilians, as constituents, whatever party that you want to go into, I suggest you turn off the news and do your own research. Don't be a lemming. Don't listen to what side is saying, use your brain.
And that's the big, I'm sorry, Meredith, that's one of the biggest problems that I do see on the right is that they're not reading this information for themselves. They're not reading the transcripts, the Mueller report, the depositions. They are being spoon-fed this either by CNN or Fox. And I say of the right, the left is the same way. Me personally, and a lot of the people that I speak with on social media, they are taking the time to read everything and forming their own opinions. To me, there was proper channels, avenues for Trump to investigate corruption. If on that call, on the July 25th call, if he would have said, we've got a real problem with corruption in Ukraine, this would have been a non-issue. But no, he mentions only Biden and Biden's son and leveraging it right after the purchase of the javelins. And so, and this coming the day after Mueller's testimony, guys, that's what gets me. He got off. He knew that Barr was backing him on Mueller. He knew nothing was going there. And he turns around and asks for foreign interference once again.
Okay. I do want us to move on. I thought great conversations, by the way. I love the face-off. I wish I actually had a way to face people off in here. I'm not sure if I can do that, but it was actually really cool. We do have a couple questions. Don't you think this will damage his reputation? And is he not going to get enough votes to make it in the re-election next year? Thoughts?
Well, the polls, even Fox, shows that the majority of people are still in favor of impeachment, and it's still wavering as far as impeachment and removal. This last November, guys, this last election, a lot of red went blue, a lot. And look at the House last year. I think Waff is exactly on that. It is hurting his reputation, especially with independents, with younger voters. He's already losing bets left and right. Every time he opens his mouth, he's doing something to, when he pardoned those war criminals, he lost a lot of veterans, a lot of military support, and current military. They can't speak out against the president. It's against policy. But you can bet your ass that they're going to show it in the election at the polling booths.
Dennis,
I
how about
think
you?
is that
Or Alan?
Yeah, let Alan speak. He's been quiet for a bit.
So I think that doing what like going along with what Matt was saying, I think that there might be some of his prior base. I still think that he's a good shot for presidency next year. Down to him. Maybe some like Bernie Sanders next year. Because you can never like a Mueller, the Mueller report, then this impeachment thing. I think that his base like so strong that whatever happens, they're still with the president till till the very end. So whatever that end is, either resignation, which is very very unlikely. This group, most people think that his resignation. I believe him and another candidate. Will he win? Well, I think that depends on the economy, right? Economy is still strong if you're looking at stocks, and
That's actually something
aspects.
that I wanted. Yeah, I wanted to comment on that real quick, Alan, because we do have another question that says, we're all U.S. citizens. Didn't Trump do very good for the U.S. In terms of economy, or you mentioned stock market. The stocks are at an all-time high. I think there's a lot of deception when it comes to. I'm not going to touch on GDP or any of these other measurements, but when it comes to stocks have been rising ever since pretty much 10 years ago or 12 years ago. Ever since Obama came into office, pretty much they've been on the rise. And so I think that accrediting that to Trump wouldn't be very fair.
No.
I don't know. I mean, let's see what happens. Look at the whole trade thing happening right now. If we somehow screw it up with China and what were you gonna say?
Also, I'm not necessarily crediting so quantitative easing and other stimulus efforts took place right after 2008, and interest rates have been like near zero for like 6 years. 7, 8, and we just barely started raising those in like 17. So we can't necessarily credit it to Trump, but people like if you're part of the guy's base, your situation, you're looking at jobs prospects, and US America is pretty economical. Look at all these jobs; they're at the highest that they've ever been, and going up. And different things like nationalism, things like the trade war with China. We're trying to bring the jobs back to America. We're trying to make America stronger. All like a gut level resonation with a major like more and more of these base, right? Like I think he's kept to a lot of his promises that he made to his base. So I think he's still a strong contender due to all of those different aspects. People who are his base, they will attribute uh, his the economy and other like American prosperity to his regime because that's just how what you do, right? If you're rooting, you go ahead and make up reasons to root for the. That's why I think he's a strong contender because of all these different things that are right now: jobs, home construction, and these other aspects. Yeah, and also your stocks going up while you're collecting dividends and whatnot. You're like, hey, everything's looking good, you know.
But a lot of
There's this
a lot
just
of
before you actually say anything,
Oh,
Matt. There's
lastly,
this.
so so one last point. I think yeah, sure. There might be some. There's ways to go ahead and what do you call fudge the numbers in regard. It could be right. Could be ways to fudge the numbers in regard to like employment number. But like even but you like if you're part of a base or you're part of an audience and you're favorite, you're not necessarily looking at all of the details. You're just looking at your present situation and you're looking at points that favor your point or your argument. So yeah, generally everything's looking gravy, right? That's the last point.
Which is kind of why I agree with you. I think that it's if he doesn't get removed, which I'm 50-50. In fact, I would probably say I'm 60-40. I don't think he's going to get removed, most likely. If he
Exactly.
doesn't get removed, it's going to come down to him and someone else. And because of the great moment, I'm actually going to share my screen once again because I want you guys to actually take a look at an article from Business Insider. It's a super cool article if I can find it. There you go. Share. So here we are. We are 9 charts that compare Trump, Obama, and the Bush administration. GDP, whole thing started to grow with Obama, and it's still growing. Collapse with Bush. Are you guys seeing this?
yeah.
All right. Unemployment, it went up. It was at its highest peak with Obama in office, and then it started to climb down, and it's still continuously climbing down. Climbing down now. That's not how you say it. I know. Payroll job growth, again, lowest point. Obama started to climb up, and it's still climbing up. Average wage growth, boom, 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 went down with Obama. Then it started to climb up. Median household income. It's a great article, by the way. I actually read this a few months ago. You should all check it out. Median household income. It went down with Bush, went down with Obama, started to climb up with Obama as well, and it's still hanging in there with Trump. S&P 500. Come on, look at this. Obama took office. Things started climbing up like crazy, and it's still going up. But I mean, to credit to Trump with the stock market at its all-time high, I mean, that's kind of like ignoring the fact that it started climbing up like 10 years ago, right?
Right.
And you get the gist of it. Anyway, yeah, it's a great article. And
Hey guys, I think we've been at this for 45 minutes.
yeah, we can wrap it up real quick. So just to conclude this live stream and just to wrap it up, who's gonna win the election next year? Cast your make a bet. You gotta put in one B2C in your candidate.
I don't have a specific candidate yet. I'm waiting to see who comes out at the DNC, but it's going to be. I'm going to say Trump's going to be out of office. I'm going to say he's going to be voted out of office. I don't think he'll be removed. I think he'll lose the election next November.
Dennis,
I agree. I agree with Matt.
Meredith.
Okay, I think he's going to be impeached by the House. He's going to be exonerated by the Senate, and I think he's actually going to be reelected because I haven't seen a strong Democratic candidate at this point. But we've got almost a year to go.
Alan.
I agree 100% with Meredith. I think that Trump is going to be a strong contender for 2020 just because of the nature of things are. So I'll say, like I said, I think we might have talked about this in the past, but one larger trend is populism and leaders across the board. So you have similar situations in other countries as well. You have these similar.
I just wanted you to wrap it up. I
strong
can't have a long form essay here. Great insights. And to conclude, I think that I unfortunately somehow 100% agree with Meredith and Alan. I think that he is probably not going to get removed from office, and I think that this is actually super. It's going to sound super stupid, but I think the only Democrat that could potentially beat one-on-one Trump is Andrew Yang, and he's not going to make it. It doesn't make sense, that statement. I know, I understand. It makes no sense whatsoever, but I think the only Democratic president that could switch red people over to the blue side is Andrew Yang. Like, you're not going to see many Republicans switching over for Sanders or Warren or Joe Biden. It's just not going to happen. And if it comes down to Trump or any of these guys, Trump's going to win.
And I just wanted to say something that speaks to the question about, his about Trump's reputation. Here's what I think. The man is a real estate mogul from New York City. Okay. I think that he cares that he gets business done. But I don't think he cares what other people think. And I think that is how a lot of his dialogue is geared towards, and why, like what I was saying before, he kind of talks like my dad, who is like, I'm just going to say what I want to say, and I don't care what you think about it.
I 100% agree.
And people, and people can relate to that. They might not like it, and I think that's why there is such a huge divide on how people think about him.
I agree. I love you guys. Thank you so much for chatting with us. And
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. You're probably not going to see our faces in a bit. Anyway, stay tuned to our YouTube channel, to CTN. There's still going to be content going out. And thank you guys to the ones that asked questions. We shall be reuniting sometime soon.
Everybody,
thank you.
We got a lot of changes coming.
Go watch Star Wars this weekend. Bye.
Bye, everyone.